Welcome to Academic Matters. My name is Brian Goldstein, and I'm Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at LaSalle University. I'm joined today by Brother Ernest Miller, Vice President for Mission at LaSalle. Brother Ernest, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Can you start by describing your sort of life path and your journey and how you ended up at LaSalle, and describe a little bit about your role as Vice President for Mission?
Well, I'm a native of New Orleans, and I lived in New Orleans through my undergraduate years, finishing up at Loyola University. And after leaving New Orleans, I went to the George Washington University for studying international affairs in Washington, D.C. And it is after my first experience of graduate studies that I entered the Brothers in 1993. And so I've been a brother for a little more than 22 years, which is somewhat unbelievable to me and to others perhaps. And over the course of most of my years as a brother, I've been in secondary education. I've taught at 3 of our secondary schools, all in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, 2 of them here in the city of Philadelphia. And then I was in what we call provincial administration, the leadership team of the Brothers on the East Coast. And then I had a little pause of further graduate study in Chicago, and then this past August I arrived here at LaSalle University to take up my ministry as the Vice President for Mission. The Vice President for Mission, it's an office that you will find in most Catholic universities today. And it has a responsibility, though it varies in some institutions, to helping the university, to assisting the university at large to keep the charism and mission of the founding congregation, the order that founded the university, vital and vibrant, as I like to say. And so that allows me engagement with a variety of offices and departments and individuals across the university. So since I've been here in August, I have been enjoying the level and kind of engagement here at the university, engaging in a variety of areas, both in terms of, looking at how do we do programming around the founding story and vision of St. John Baptist de La Salle, but also beginning to engage in neighborhood partnership conversations and how that involves mission, beginning to get involved in environmental sustainability questions and how that regards and involves mission.
Can you talk a little bit about the interesting situation in which LaSalle finds itself, in that we have the first lay president, the first non-brother on a non-interim basis who's president, and a brother now who is vice president for Mission. And so how does that animate your role as VP of Mission?
So certainly, so Dr. Colleen Hanage is the first non-brother to serve as the president, as you just mentioned. And so I think it's a wonderful opportunity, having her in that leadership role and myself as the vice president for Mission, having you serving as the provost, because when you look at the origins of the Brothers of the Christian Schools, reminding ourselves that brothers are lay as well. And so Colleen and yourself, we would say you are LaSallian partners. And so the mission doesn't just belong to the brothers or whoever the founding religious order is of a particular institution. It is a shared mission. And so now having someone like Dr. Colleen Hanage as the president further accents this commitment of what we call shared mission or co-responsibility for the mission. She has the good advantage of having experienced LaSallian education in secondary school. She went to a school the brothers used to conduct in Ontario, Canada. So she brings a familiarity with the brothers to her role here as the new president of LaSalle University. And I think from where I sit, I can continue to assist her and our whole senior leadership team in continuing to grow in knowledge and understanding of the charism and the mission as we continue to move to new horizons here at LaSalle University in Belfield, Philadelphia.
Okay. I want to pick up on a word that you used in your response, which was origins. Mm-hmm. And so it seems that you had a very early calling to the church. So I'm interested in how you came to that and what that journey was like, and ultimately what inspired you to become a brother as opposed to go a different path.
Sure. I appreciate that question, Brian. Well, I grew up in the United Methodist Church. And it was in 8th grade that I made what I call today a lateral move. Normally we would say a conversion, but I'm not sure conversion is the right word when one is moving from one Christian tradition to another. So I used the phrase, I made a lateral move. So I went to a private Methodist school until kindergarten, and then from 1st grade through undergraduate, I was in Catholic education. It was in my elementary time at St. Rita's School in New Orleans, run by the Maronite Sisters of Holy Cross, that the beginnings of this idea of being a religious brother and educator started. And it was the sisters who were the first major influence on me, in particular my 3rd grade teacher, Sister Juanita Wood, who's still alive and who I still visit when I go home to New Orleans. She was my first inspiration if I was to identify any one person, but then the sisters collectively. And then after I left St. Rita's, after 6th grade, I went to the Holy Cross School, which is a middle and high school run by the Brothers of Holy Cross. And there I encountered the brothers directly. And there were brothers who were who had a major influence on me, including my former headmaster and mathematics teacher, Brother John McLaughlin. But it was the sisters who first introduced me to the notion of brothers, that there are brothers that exist. I've never felt called to the priesthood. And so gradually, I came to know many religious orders. In addition to the Holy Cross Brothers, I met our brothers in New Orleans who run several schools. And ultimately, in my maturing years, I settled on the Brothers of the Christian Schools. And I primarily chose our order, one, because our order is a community of only brothers. Most religious orders of men are mixed, priests and brothers. So for whatever reason, I felt that I would be more comfortable in an institute, an order of only brothers. Second, the primary commitment to education and conducting schools. And then third, an international order. We're in over 80 countries and 6 continents, on 6 continents around the world. So those are some of the factors that attracted me to the brothers' life in general, and specifically to the Brothers of the Christian Schools.
Can you give us more detail about the formation of a brother? Again, what is that journey and pathway like?
Sure. So we call the period of formation initial formation. So that's the period from entry to pronouncing, making final vows. So when I entered, we had a 4-year period prior to going to what we call the novitiate. So we had 2 years of scholastic residency, which brought me for the first time here to LaSalle University. So our house of studies is just a few miles away from the university in Mount Airy, called Jeremy House. So that is where the student brothers live. And now student brothers from around the country come to Jeremy House here in Philadelphia. And then 2 years of what we call apostolic residency. So during the scholastic residency, we teach part-time and we go to graduate school part-time. And so I did a master's in education here at LaSalle University, along with some graduate credits in religion. Then 2 years of apostolic residency, which is full-time teaching. And then our 5th year in initial formation is going to what we call the novitiate, which all religious, no matter what order you belong to, have to do at least 1 year of novitiate, which in simple terms is like a year-long retreat, where you're focusing on the history of your religious order, you're studying the vowed life, what it means and the significance of that, and so on and so forth. And then you have a period of roughly 5 years of temporary vows. So we're looking largely at a 10-year period between entry and final commitment to being a member of the community.
You've mentioned that the namesake of our university, LaSalle University, and obviously the Brothers de LaSalle, Brothers of the Christian Schools, St. John Baptist de LaSalle. You've noted him as an educational pioneer. What is it about someone who lived 300 years ago that still resonates today? And then how does that translate into the goals that you have as VP of Mission at LaSalle?
Another great question. De LaSalle is seen as an educational pioneer, first and foremost, because of some of the educational innovations, the creativity that he and the first brothers brought to bear on educating children. So beginning in his time in 17th century France, it was innovative to teach have simultaneous learning, to teach in the vernacular, the local language. So those are some of the areas. But also the creativity was in the type of courses and educational programming that De La Salle and the First Brothers put forward to meet the particular needs of children where they were. So for example, if the brothers were teaching on the English coast of France, on the English Channel coast, they would teach navigation as part of the curriculum and so on and so forth. But I think more than those particular methods and processes, I think what is most unique about De La Salle is that he understood that running a school well required a community. That's, for me, one of the unique aspects of De La Salle, and that is what continues today. When I was in provincial administration and I would go around, visiting our schools and meeting with students and faculty and staff in our schools and alumni and working with board members, when I would interview students, one of the things that they would always say why they chose to come to whatever the particular LaSallian secondary school was, it was something was different when they visited our schools versus other schools. And I think one of the reasons was this sense of community, and that is what we see here at Salle University. We want to continue to strengthen this notion of together, and by association, we carry out the mission.
So in the minute we have left, maybe dovetail that into the goals that you have for the office for this year. What have you been working on?
Sure. Well, having conversations around how do we revive and retool our programming to continue to provide opportunities for understanding the LaSallian charism and mission here on campus. So looking to create a variety of opportunities for faculty and staff to engage in that level of learning. And we're also engaging in conversations and moving the ball, if you will, around connecting neighborhood partnerships with mission. We're also engaging in conversations and movement around environmental sustainability. In fact, we've been invited by Siemens to host a conference in April for a large number of Catholic institutions in the Mid-Atlantic area around Catholic education, Catholic higher education, and environmental sustainability. So those are some of the things that we are doing through the Office for Mission.
Thank you, Brother Ernest. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Brian.
This is Academic Matters at Salle University. We'll be right back.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Get on top of it before they do. Every 24 minutes, tipped furniture or a falling TV sends an injured child to the emergency room. Preventing tip-over incidents is easy, inexpensive, and only takes 5 minutes. Learn how to secure your furniture and TVs to protect children at anchorit.gov.
You are now watching LaSalle TV.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
This is the richest and the most powerful country